My husband's betrayal didn't come to me in whispers or rumors. It came wrapped in Christmas lights. The music was soft, the fireplace crackling, the smell of cinnamon cookies drifting through my sister-in-law's living room while relatives laughed near the tree. I remember holding a tray of gingerbread, the edges still warm, when I heard my daughter's voice, small, trembling, not meant for me to hear. "Dad, why is my college account empty?" Her words sliced through the air like a cold draft from an open door. I turned. The tray shook in my hands. My husband, Eric, was leaning against the dining table, his face paling beneath the soft glow of the holiday lights. Our daughter, Mia, 16, bright-eyed, hopeful, stared at him with betrayal written across her expression in strokes so clear it broke something in me instantly. "It's not empty," he said too quickly. "It's just processing." Mia held up her phone. Her voice cracked. "Processing $43,000? My breath lodged somewhere between my ribs. $43,000. Her entire college fund. The one I saved for since she was 5. The one she checked every year like a ritual. Hopeful, proud, dreaming. Gone. Just then a small memory drifted into my mind. Mia at age 7 holding a plastic piggy bank full of coins, whispering, "Mom, one day I'm going to go to college. I want to be someone who helps people." I swallowed hard. "My name is Lauren Whitfield, I'm 35 years old, and the night my daughter discovered her father had stolen her college fund was the same night his affair exploded across our Christmas family party. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts. It means more than you know." Eric reached for Mia's phone, panic rising in his voice. "Give me that. You don't understand the numbers." Mia stepped back. Her hands shook. "Mom." Her eyes found mine. "Did you move the money?" I shook my head. "No, sweetheart. I haven't touched it." My mother-in-law, setting down a plate of sugar cookies, froze mid-motion. Conversations around the chandelier dimmed. The room filled with the quiet that only comes before a storm people don't want but can't escape. Eric rubbed his forehead. "It's complicated." A voice behind me cut in, sharp, irritated. "Complicated? Eric, we saw the payment. The car dealership sent you a Christmas thank you card." It was his brother, Mark. He held up a red envelope addressed to Eric. My blood went cold. Inside the card was a photo of a luxury car. The signature read, "Thank you for your purchase. To your wife, she's a very lucky woman." My stomach twisted, a bitter taste flooding my mouth. Mia looked at her father. "You bought Mom a car?" Eric's throat bobbed. Well." Mark shook his head. "He bought it for someone else." "Someone else." The words echoed against the walls. I felt the world tilt slightly. Lights blurring. People shifting. My sister-in-law stepped toward me cautiously. "Lauren, maybe you should sit." I didn't. If I sat, I wasn't sure I'd stand again. Eric tried to grab the card. "It's not what it looks like." Mark held it out of reach. "Really? Because it looks like you bought a $43,000 car for your mistress." Gasps rippled through the room. My pulse thudded in my ears. Eric hissed, "Shut up, Mark." Mia's voice rose, trembling. "You used my college money?" He finally snapped. I had no choice. My breath barked out in disbelief. "No choice." I repeated. "You really want to explore that sentence right now?" People gathered at the edges of the room. Not prying. Not gossiping. Just witnessing the unraveling of something too big for silence. Eric pointed a shaking hand at me. "You don't understand the financial stress I've been under. Pressure. Work has been." "Your affair was stressful?" I asked softly. His mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. "You don't get it," he snapped, voice cracking. "She needed help." "She." Mia's voice sliced through him. Eric shut his eyes. The truth was already bleeding out. But the room waited. Everyone held breath. Like an orchestra paused before the final crash of sound. Mia whispered, "Who is she?" Eric's jaw clenched. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," Mia said, tears burning down her cheeks. "You stole my dreams for someone who isn't even us." He stepped toward her. "I'll fix it, Mia. I promise I'll." She stepped back, voice trembling. "You can't fix this." His mother sank onto the couch, head in her hands. I set the tray of gingerbread on the counter gently, as if the softness of my movement could balance the sharpness of the moment. "Eric," I said quietly, Tell her the truth. He spun toward me, desperation rising. Lauren, please, don't do this here. Mark snorted. Funny. You did everything else here. Eric glared at him. Mia's hand covered her mouth. Daddy, she whispered. Just tell us. He broke. Not gracefully. Not honestly. Just crumbled into the version of himself that existed beneath every lie. I've been seeing someone, he said. For almost a year. Mia sobbed. My lungs tightened painfully. But I stayed still, anchored by years of swallowing storms, until they turned into quiet oceans inside me. And the money? I asked. He hesitated. I stepped closer. Tell her. He finally muttered. I used it for the down payment on her car. The room gasped again. A collective wound opening. Mia stumbled backward, her legs giving way. I caught her before she hit the floor. She clung to my shirt, shaking, crying, mouthing the same question over and over. Why? Why? Eric ran a trembling hand through his hair. She needed to get to work. I was trying to help her. You ruined your daughter, I said quietly. For a woman who isn't even staying with you. Eric blinked. What? Mark stepped forward. Oh, he doesn't know, he murmured. Eric frowned. What don't I know? Mark pulled out his phone. She posted her engagement ring 2 days ago. Eric froze. The blood drained from his face. She left you, man. Used the car, used the money, and ran off with her fiancé. The humiliation washed over Eric like cold water. Mia trembled against me. I guided her toward the hallway. But before leaving the room, I turned back to him. Tonight, I said softly, you answer to her. Tomorrow you answer to me. His voice cracked. Learn, please. But this story wasn't about his pleas. It was about justice. And the night it finally stepped into the room, the house fell into the kind of silence that comes after a fire. Warm embers everywhere. And everyone afraid to breathe in case the flames surged back to life. Eric stood in the center of the living room, shoulders sagging, eyes unfocused, as if he were trying to understand how a single truth could collapse an entire life. Mia clung to me, face hidden in my shoulder, cold fingers gripping the back of my sweater. Her sobs weren't loud. They were small, broken, the kind that don't ask for attention, but demand justice anyway. I brushed her hair gently. It's okay, I whispered. You're safe. You're with me. Behind us, Eric took a shaky step forward. Mia, sweetheart. Don't call her that, I said without turning. He froze mid-step. Mia trembled harder. My sister-in-law approached with tissues, eyes filled with something between fury and sympathy. You don't get to comfort her, she said to Eric. Not tonight. Probably not ever again. Eric's mother, pale, shaking, rose from the couch. Eric, how could you do this? She whispered. This is your child. Eric looked around the room, as if searching for someone who might pull him back into the person he used to be. But no one moved. No one offered him the lifeline he had stolen from his daughter. Finally I said, Come with me, Mia. We stepped into the quiet hallway, leaving the hum of whispered anger behind us. The hallway smelled faintly of pine from the garland and the cold draft slipping through the window frame. I knelt so I could look into her eyes. You didn't deserve this, I said gently. She wiped her face, voice trembling. Why would he do that to me, Mom? I worked so hard. I got the grades. I followed all the rules. Why wasn't I enough? Her words cracked open something in me. A memory from years ago. Eric kissing Mia's forehead, promising, Daddy will always take care of you. She had believed him with her whole heart. So had I. I cupped her cheek. This is about his failures, I whispered. Not yours. She nodded, but her eyes still carried that shattered softness that only betrayal can carve. Do you still want to stay here tonight? I asked. She shook her head quickly. No. I want to go home. Then that's what we'll do. When we walked back into the living room, the crowd parted like we were moving through smoke. Eric reached for Mia's arm. A desperate, reflexive gesture. She flinched away so sharply his hand fell to his side. Mia, please, he pleaded. I know I hurt you. I know I. She cut him off, voice barely audible. You didn't just hurt me. You stole from me. Eric's throat tightened visibly. I'll pay it back, he said. Every penny. I'll get a loan, No, I said, stepping beside her. You won't. He blinked. What do you mean? I can fix this. You can't fix this, I said. But you can face it. I pulled a folder from my purse. One I hadn't planned to use tonight, but one I had begun preparing weeks earlier, when the emotional cracks in our marriage started showing. Inside were printed statements, screenshots, legal references, to the college fund account he emptied. Eric's face crumpled when he saw them. You've been documenting this? He whispered. I've been watching you, I replied. And you made it very easy. My sister-in-law crossed her arms. Lauren, you don't owe him anything. He deserves whatever's coming. Eric looked between us, panic rising. You're not filing charges. You can't. I'm her dad. You're a man who stole from a minor, I corrected softly. That's a felony. He shook his head, stumbling backward. Lauren, don't do this. Please. You'll ruin my life. You ruined our daughter's future, I said. That matters more to me than your comfort. Mia took a shaky breath. Mom, what happens now? I looked at her gently. That depends on what you want. All eyes turned to my daughter. Even the Christmas lights seemed to dim for her answer. She wiped her cheeks slowly and said, I want him out of our home. I don't want him to speak to me until I'm ready. And I want him to face what he did. Eric shut his eyes. Tears slipped through the cracks. His mother reached out. Eric, she whispered. You have to accept this. For a long moment, he stood still, breathing like a man learning the weight of consequences for the first time. Finally he nodded. A small, defeated motion. I'll go pack, he whispered. He walked down the hallway of his sister's home. Like a ghost descending a staircase. A man who'd lost everything. In the room where he expected warmth. While he was gone, Mia leaned into me and whispered, Are we really going to be okay? I wrapped my arm around her, feeling her heart beat against my ribs. Yes, I said. Better than okay. We're going to rebuild everything he broke. She rested her head on my shoulder. But, what about college? The money's gone. We'll get it back, I said. And even if we don't, we'll find another way. You're not alone in this. You never will be. My voice cracked just slightly on the last sentence. He heard it. He squeezed my hand. Eric eventually returned with a small duffel bag. Shoulders trembling. Eyes swollen. He stopped in front of us. Mia, he whispered. I love you. I am so sorry. She turned her face away. He swallowed hard, then looked at me. Lauren, please don't destroy me. I'm not destroying you, I said quietly. You lit the match yourself. He opened his mouth to speak, but Mia stepped forward. I hope one day I can forgive you. But that day is not today. And she walked past him, toward the front door, toward the car, toward the life she deserved better than anyone had given her. I followed. Eric stayed frozen, his breath jagged in the quiet house. The night air was cold when we stepped outside. A clean, sharp cold that felt like the world was washing itself and making room for something new. Mia got into the passenger seat, pulling her knees to her chest. Before I closed my door, I whispered into the winter air. If you've lived anything like this, tell your story. And don't forget to subscribe. I started the engine. The headlights cut through the darkness, revealing a road ahead that belonged only to us now. Untangled. Honest. Ours. As we pulled away from the house, I whispered, sometimes justice arrives quietly.